Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Roden, and in my quest to rank all blank cars from all blank whatever, there are some other kind of things we've been doing. We've been doing like ranking all Honda sports cars, Audi sports cars, Toyota sports cars, whatever. We've been doing all those for the most part, but let's change that up a bit. We're going to be ranking all sports cars from Group B-12 rally racing. Now, what B-12 is, in case you're wondering, and I honestly didn't know this before looking this up, is they're pretty much the top tier of Group B rally. So if you know Group B rally, which you probably do, B12 was like the subcategory for the top tier, the best of the best. So these are there's 14 total, and these are the 14 fastest Group B rally cars. I wanted to do all Group B cars, I really did, but there's a lot, and that would have taken a really long time. And so I decided to split them up into separate little parts, and if you guys like it enough, then maybe I'll do it all in one go and rank them all together. But yeah, I want to make this very clear as well. I'm not a huge Group B rally guy. I don't know much about Group B rally. I only know what I've watched on YouTube about it, okay? These is all personal opinion, and to be honest with you, it's mostly just based on videos I've watched of the cars driving around. Whether or not I think they look cool. Some people might get offended, some people might not, I don't know, but just keep that in mind, please, while you're going to make your hate comments down below. If you want to criticize my video, I'm all for that. Go ahead. Just don't be like, this guy's an idiot, he doesn't know what he's talking about, because I'm telling you right now, I don't know what I'm talking about. But without further ado, let's get right into the video with the number 14. Number 14, and my least favorite of the Group B12 rally cars, is going to the Citroen BX 4TC. This thing not only looks weird, it doesn't sound that cool, and apparently, after looking it up and doing just a tad bit of research on it, a lot of people actually don't like the Citroen BX 4TC, and they say that it's one of like the most disappointing Group B rally cars. So honestly, my opinion, as far as I can tell, is honestly pretty accurate. It's got this like weird, like, you know how like the old cars back in the old days, they had this like the quarter panels on the back went over the tires. The Citroen BX 4TC kind of does that. It like the tires in the rear, they're like kind of tucking into the quarter panel, and it just looks awful. And on top of that, it apparently wasn't that good in racing either. Coming in at the number 13 spot is going to a car that I didn't even know was a Group B rally car until I did this research, the Audi Quattro A2. Now you may be like, this guy is actually a moron. He just put the Audi Sport Quattro. No, I didn't. I put the Audi Quattro A2. That's what I thought too. When I saw this car there too, I was like, wait a minute, what? There was two Audis running, apparently. The Sport Quattro, the one that everybody knows and loves, the one that's great, the one that's legendary, that is an amazing car. It is great, and it got a lot of praise for a reason. The Audi Quattro A2, however, was pretty much just a slower version of that car. It was pretty much worse in every single way. It honestly wasn't even needed in Group B. I don't really understand why Audi brought two cars, one that's just worse than the other one, and put them both in the same tier. It doesn't really make much sense to me. But yeah, the Audi Quattro A2, not that special compared to the other one. This is where I'm going to start to hurt some feelings already, because number 12 is going to the Lancia Delta S4. The Delta S4 gets a lot of love. A lot of people like this car because of the fact that A, it's a Lancia. How do you even say that word? Lancia? I don't get it, but it's that car, and so everybody already loves those cars in terms of rally racing anyway. And on top of that, the Delta S4 actually did very good. It was a very well-performing car. Now the only problem is I cannot get around those looks. I think it is probably the ugliest of all the rally cars in Group B, and I'm not even joking when I say that. I do not like the looks of the Lancia Delta S4, and that alone brings it all the way down to the number 12 spot. Its performance is great, its legacy is really good, it's a Lancia, so that already kind of brings it up a couple spots, but if I was just going based off of just looks, this car would probably be last place. Coming in at the number 11 spot is going to one of the only rear-wheel drive cars that was entered into Group B12, the Nissan 240 RS. I'm a big Nissan guy. I've always loved Nissan. I have a 350Z, so obviously Nissan is my second favorite brand, but some days it's my first favorite. It just depends on the mood I'm in, because I don't know, BMW is so cool, but Nissan's so cool. But the Nissan 240 RS is just... it's obviously awesome, an awesome car I would love to drive, but it's just like, compared to all the other amazing Group B cars, it's just kind of there. Like, I get the fact that they went for rear-wheel drive while everybody else was doing all-wheel drive, and so they tried to change it up, but that did not work. This car was very slow. It did not win a lot of races in Group B. And it's just another sedan rally car that was entered by Nissan. Like, it doesn't have like a cool legacy, a cool backstory. It doesn't even look that cool. It just looks boring. Like, I don't know. It's just not that special. A car that is special, though, and a car that, once again, I probably will get some hate for, is number 10, the MG Metro 6R4. The MG Metro 6R4 is, once again, just like the Lancia Delta we talked about earlier, commonly regarded as one of the better Group B cars of its time. And it definitely was. It did good. It handled well. It was an all-wheel drive little hatchback thing. It had a very short wheelbase, which was really interesting. It had a really cool, like, wide body, it almost looked like a hill climb type of kit on it, which was kind of cool. And the car looks really nice. It's very fast. It's just, once again, kind of like the 240 RS. It just doesn't do it for me personally. Like, I look at it and I think to myself, yeah, it's a cool little hatchback, but there were plenty of other cool little hatchbacks in Group B, and so I just don't want to put it that much higher. Coming in at the number 9 spot, however, is going to a car that I always forget exists whenever I'm talking about Group B, the Toyota Celica TwinCam Turbo. This thing was sick, okay? It had a lot of new technology in it that Toyota was trying to kind of like experiment with, but sadly, due to that, it didn't really perform that well. Experimentations in Group B Rally was just kind of like a hit or a miss, honestly, it was. And so with the Toyota Celica TwinCam Turbo, the whole car was pretty much an experiment, and it just didn't work out, which sucks because the car is kind of cool. It kind of reminds me of the 240 RS in a way, but at least it was actually performed decent. I just wish it would have performed a little bit better. If the car did better, if they experimented a little bit before entering this car into Group B, then I feel like it would have done a lot better on this list. But just because of its performance, I don't know. Coming into the number 8 spot, this is pretty much exactly halfway down the list. I mean, it's 14, so technically it would be number 7, but still. It's the Opel Manta B400. The Opel Manta is, in my opinion, the pinnacle of just average Group B rally car. It looks awesome. Its performance is alright. It's small. It doesn't really get the most love in the world, but it also doesn't get hate. Like, it's in some video games. I've seen it in a couple video games before, so it's obviously got some love out there. It just kind of exists. A lot of people don't even know that this was a Group B rally car. Like, you might be learning that for the first time right now, actually. And yeah, it's just kind of there. I mean, it wasn't a bad car. It didn't look ugly. It just didn't look cool, and it wasn't a great car. So I'm putting it right here in the middle. Coming into the number 7 spot is going to just a guilty pleasure of mine, a car that I just personally love so much, and so that's why I put it here. It's the Mazda RX-7 FB. I've always loved RX-7s. I think they're really cool cars, and the fact that they added an FB RX-7 into Group B is just sick as hell. It was rear-wheel drive, which caused for it to be very bad in performance. It actually was one of the worst Group B rally cars out on the track at the time. But just because of the fact that it's an RX-7, yeah, I'm putting it at number 7. All right, I love RX-7s. I won't put it higher because the other cars I understand are just better in every single way. But the fact that they even entered this car into Group B is enough for me to put it at least halfway up the list. It's cool just because it exists, but yes, it is sadly just a very bad performing Group B car, one of the worst. Coming into the number 6 spot, this is what I was talking about before with the MG Metro, where there are a lot of cooler hatchbacks that was entered into Group B. The Peugeot 205 Turbo 16 is a legend. It is a legend amongst men. This car is, everybody pretty much, for the most part, I would say, knows about this car, knows that it exists, and for good reason. It was a monster in Group B. It looked incredible. It sounded incredible. It was handled incredible. However, the reason why I'm not putting it higher than the rest of these cars is because, again, this is personal opinion. That's why I tried stressing this in the beginning. There's just something about the rest of these cars on the list that make me like just so happy. Whereas with the Peugeot, even though I do like it, I really do. I really think it's really sick. It's honestly, in my opinion, I'm not. It's just, to me, it's just kind of like another hatchback in a way. You know, I'm not saying it is just another hatchback because I know it's not. But to me, that's kind of how it sits. Because this is why the Peugeot got number 6. Because number 5 was the Porsche 911 SCRS. The SCRS, I don't know what that stands for, so don't ask. I would assume the RS probably stands for like Rally Sport, but I don't really know. But this is why I put the Peugeot at number 6, because cars like this existed in Group B. 911 going off-road, flying over jumps. Imagine that. That is so sick, dude. Porsche has always been kind of just like, hey, if there's motorsports, we're going to be in it. They don't care what it is, whether it's rally racing, circuit racing, hill climb, whatever. They enter their cars into almost everything because they love motorsports like that. But it's just really cool to see these like safari style rally Porsches going around and doing their thing. Like, that's just awesome. And if you think the Peugeot is better than that, that's fine. But to me, I don't know. A Porsche 911 jumping over rally races is cooler to me than the other Peugeot. This is a spot where people are going to unsubscribe from my channel most likely, because number 4 is the Audi Quattro S1/E2. This is the legend. When you think of Group B rally racing, you think of this car. Everybody does. It is a legendary car. It is just probably honest. I would honestly say that this is the most legendary rally car in general of all time. I don't think there's a single rally car out there that's more legendary than this car. And I put it here at number 4. Why? Because I think it's a little overplayed, man. I got burnt out on it. Yes, was it the best rally car out there on the track? Absolutely, it was. There's no arguing that. It was insane, the amount of wins it had. This is what built Audi's Quattro name, this car alone. So it did great. I mean, its legacy is amazing. And it's at number 4. Like, that's not bad at all. But I've seen it so much. It's just in every video game, not movie, I was about to say every movie, but not in every movie. It's in every video game, everybody's video, everybody talks about the Audi Sport Quattro, and it is an amazing car, but there's just the top 3 to me just make me happier. I don't know why. Third place is going to, in my opinion, one of the coolest hatchbacks of all time, the Renault 5 Maxi Turbo. This thing was unbelievably cool, dude. Talk about a just homologation special, just brought to... I would kill a man. No, I wouldn't do that. If any police are watching this video, I would never do that. I would give a man a raise if he had a Renault 5 Maxi Turbo. These things are absolutely freaking beautiful, dude. They have like a built, obviously most of these cars have like a built-in wide body kit. They're rally cars, are meant to do that, but it's a hatchback that looks like it could be an incredible like race car on the circuits, like on dry circuits, but it's even better when it's off-road. That makes no sense to me, but it works incredibly. And it's rear engine, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it is. It has vents in cool places. The car is so sick. And most people probably would drive by this too on the road and just be like, it's just another hatchback. And that's what even cooler. Like, it's not even, it's like a sleeper. Oh my God, it's amazing. I hope I made it up to you guys that like Lancias so much, because the second place, in my opinion, is the Lancia Rally 037. I almost said Delta again. Lancia, whatever. I hate that freaking word, but that car, Rally 037, is sick. It doesn't even look like really any of the other cars on the Group B Rally roster. It looks like a race car. Like, it looks like a car that is built for a track. It has a really weird wing in the back of it. It's low slung. It's really low to the ground. Well, it's lower than the rest, I would say. It's got like a very sleek, slim body style to it. It looks like a race car, and it does incredible off-road somehow, and that's great. I mean, Lancia has always been really, really good at making off-road monsters. Obviously, they have things like the Delta, the HF Integrale Evo, whatever that thing is. They have the Rally 037, but the Rally 037 is just... it's so cool. And you're gonna see like the kind of cars that I like with my number 1 pick too. I like these cars that look like little tiny race cars that are just ripping around in the woods. I think that's cool. In first place is going to be the most, this guy has no idea what he's talking about, entry in this list, because it's the Ford RS200. The RS200 was, don't get me wrong, not a bad Group B rally car at all, but it didn't do that great either. It wasn't like one of the best. Like, it does not deserve to be in the same tier as a Sport Quattro, the Renault 5, the Peugeot 205, or the Lancia Rally, Lancia Rally. But I just love it. I love it so much. Every time a video game has it, every time I see it in a video that I'm watching, every time anybody mentions the RS200, I get so happy. And the weirdest part about that is I'm not a Ford guy at all. I really don't like Fords. My dad has always been a Chevy guy, so I've always kind of liked Chevys. But the RS200 is just gorgeous, man. I love the RS200. I think it's such a beautiful car. It's awesome. It's lightweight. It's got a small wheelbase. It's so cool. And again, it looks like the Lancia we just talked about. It looks like it could be a race car. And on top of that too, the RS200s are kind of cheap. Well, as cheap as a Group B rally car is going to get. Like, you can buy one of these for like 50 grand, which is surprising. So God bless. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video of ranking the 14 top, all of them, whatever you want to call it, ranking all 14 Group B12 rally cars from worst to best. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see. Obviously, we can rank other forms of motorsports, like ranking all GT3 cars or something like that if you want to see that. But yeah, let me know what you want to see, and we'll get it done, buddy. We'll get it done, pal. All right, come on now, come on. Let me know what you want to see. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.